Hello, my name is Kaylee Araujo, and this is the weekly reflection for week 3. And the chapter 3 talks about what dialogue is and the importance of dialogue in the classroom. And for the most part, I think that we're so busy trying to address the demands of the classroom that we forget to actually engage in meaningful dialogue. And what I mean by this is interactive during the time of play, or during the time of work, or during the time of different activities. Many of the times teachers are trying to direct the student, instruct the child by telling them what it is that they have to do, instead of engaging in a meaningful conversation. So another thing that's discussed is about how teachers are the main voice in the classroom, and it really should be a back and forth feedback from the children, from the students, towards as well for the teachers. One of the things that I've learned from my experience in working in the classroom is having students engage in discussions, especially in large group settings. I think that by demonstrating a potential question, like for example, something that interests the children, you're able to get a lot of feedback, whatever it is, personal opinion or a belief or an experience that they've had. And then you can build on that vocabulary and the language through different children's interest. As I think also that we should be active listeners for our students, because most of the time, like I said earlier, we're so busy trying to do different demands and to tell children what they have to do and how they have to do it, instead of actually listening to what they have to say and their beliefs and their ideas. One of the two terms that I thought was interesting, and it's something that comes up a lot in where I work in, is with the students that are learning a different language, is additive bilingualism. And the term basically means that you're adding a second language to what a child already knows. And most of the time, the main concern for parents that are primarily Hispanic and Spanish-speaking parents is that they believe that they're going to lose the Spanish and while they're acquiring the English language. So a lot of the times I do tell them that it's important for them to remain constant in one language at home, and that the English language will be acquired through the classroom experiences. And one of the things that I've also learned from this course is that most of the time learning these two languages together at the same time, especially at a young age, will benefit the child a lot more than it would be at a later age. And I think that this is one of the things that I've been talking to my parents a lot more, was to introduce and maintain the language at home. Most of the time it's just originally Spanish, but to maintain the language at home and let them acquire the English in school time. Another term that I thought was really interesting was the subtractive bilingualism, which means that they're learning a second language, but that second language is replacing the first. And it's funny because that happened when I was younger. My parents were both Spanish-speaking adults, and the Spanish speaking was all in the house. Like, that's the only thing we listened to. And once we entered school, me and my brother started learning English, and for the most part it replaced my Spanish for a very long time, because it was a language that I was speaking more in school, and since I was most of the time in school, it's what I learned, it's what I was accustomed to. So after a while I started acquiring the Spanish language back, and it took me a while, but it was through a lot of experiences, a lot of back and forth conversations with adults, with students, with families, that I was able to go ahead and get better at my Spanish, even though it was my first original language to begin with. Thank you.